Hello, one, two, three. Hello, one, two, three.
Hey Ron, how are you today?
I am doing well. How about you?
I am well, just waiting for you.
Just waiting for me. Jeez, you make it feel like I'm late to the date.
You are late.
I'm late to the date. I'm late to the date. Sorry about that. I was taking a sip of my tea. Taking a sip of my tea. All right, cool, cool, cool. All right,
All
no
right.
problem. So today, really excited. Really, really excited. So we're gonna be going over problem number three, not problem number three, problem number three in the video series, talking about what are some of the mistakes or the four main mistakes homeowners make that cause them to, you know, today we're going to be discussing um, the mistake that caused them to underfund their retirement accounts. So what are those things that homeowners are making that is ultimately causing them to underfund their retirement account and maybe feeling bad now and feeling worse later. So for those who do not know me, my name is Ron Barker. I've been working in the area of finance for the past 10 plus years. This is my beautiful wife, Esther Charles. Esther has been in the area of finance for the past 25 plus years. So she brings a wealth of knowledge from the areas, from industries like she used to work at Pace University. She worked at in real estate. She worked in mortgages, and is now a financial professional. Used to be a financial advisor. So she has the licenses and the letters behind her name and all of that stuff. But anyway, we have seen a lot of horror stories. So I believe that having a platform such as Facebook, where we can let more people know of the difficulties or the things that they could avoid is something that has utility. So Esther, I think I'm talking too much and you're very, very too super quiet, which is not very characteristic. So tell me, what's the first thing you want to tap into in this video today?
Oh wow, there's so much to talk about in this category. Um, why homeowners neglect their retirement, what happens, what are some of the things that come up? There's so as a homeowner, whether you're a homeowner or not, there's so many competing interests that you have when it comes to saving for retirement and making sure that it's a priority.
Right.
um and we're many times tempted to say, well, I'll get to it later. I'll get to it later. But for homeowners specifically, one of the things that they say or they do that causes a major issue is that they assume that their retirement plan or their home equity is a retirement plan. So, oh, my house is my retirement. My house is my retirement. My house will take care of my retirement.
Well, that sounds good, and that is probably one of the things that I have heard myself. But one of the things that I don't think has been worked out, like in logistics, is okay. So let's say hypothetically that you're retired tomorrow, and this house that you bought is now worth, you know, $700,000, and you bought it for $200,000. You have an equity there of $500,000. How would you monetize that equity that is in your house? I believe
That's exactly.
that conversation never happened.
Exactly. So what most people fail to realize that the equity in the home is not liquid. It's not liquid. It's not available until you either sell your home, refinance your home, or borrow from it at some point. So
Mhm.
a couple of things that's very important to pay attention to here is that when you get to retirement, you're no longer working.
Right.
So if you're no longer working, how are you going to qualify for the mortgage?
You can because your capacity
Your
to
income.
pay has been severely reduced.
Most people go, and they're under what is called they for a 40-40-40 plan, work 40 hours a week,
Hmm.
right? I mean, for 40 years, and
Yeah,
they end up with 40% of their income.
I don't like that.
Well, whether you like it or not is the reality of what it is. So it's irrelevant what you like, Ron. It's just what it is. So,
Thank you.
but
Awesome.
most people don't realize that.
Just punch me in the face.
They don't realize that uh, until it's too late because they've never taken the time to sit down with a financial professional to really go over the numbers. They assume retirement is going to take care. My home is my retirement, and they assume that. A lot of times people focus on aggressively paying off the mortgage instead of saving for retirement. A lot of time we have what is called the or mentality,
The either or.
either or,
Either or.
because we've been conditioned. Hey, you cannot have your cake and eat it too. That's
But
what
that
we're
doesn't make much sense. That if I bought a cake, it's because I want to eat it.
right. But when they tell you can't have your cake and eat it too, what they really should be saying is that, well, you need to have the cake first in order that you can eat it, right? Because if you don't have the cake, you cannot eat it. That's number one.
Right.
And number two, maybe once you have the cake, you may decide, well, I don't want to eat it right now. Or
Right.
maybe I should eat it later. Or maybe I should invest that cake and double it, and maybe it becomes two cakes and I eat one and have the other one. That's a
I
whole
like
other
that.
conversation. You know, a lot of times people don't think further than what's right in front of them.
Right.
So paying off your mortgage feels great. It feels great to be debt free. Aggressively paying down a low interest rate mortgage. Like if you have a 2, 3, 4, 5%, it's like, oh, it's low. I can definitely reduce that. But it also you do that at the expense of limiting your tax advantage compounding, right? You reduce long-term growth. Now, a lot of people, especially, like baby boomers, when they're, when we transition out of the pension field into the 401k field,
Hmm.
a lot of them did not take advantage. I think there's about, according to statistics, there are 68% of people have access to 401k, but only 50% of those 68 actually utilize it. It's a whole other conversation, which the challenge here is that, hey, they're not saving into the plan,
Right.
right? And they're not even maximizing the matches. So worst case scenario, if you have a 401k, you should at least put the minimum to get the maximum match from your employer. It's like free money. You didn't even take the free money. You
Right.
didn't do, come on, right? Um, the other thing that I
Well,
think,
you said a couple of minutes ago in regards to paying off the mortgage faster, although you have a small interest rate and something else. But I didn't catch what you were saying there in regards to the low interest rate and blah 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 blah.
oh, okay. What I said is that some people just focus on paying off the mortgage because it
Right.
feels good,
Yeah,
right? So they're paying it off faster.
because they want to be debt free.
They want to be debt
Because they
free.
want to be debt free.
But if the mortgage interest rate is so low
Right.
at 3% or 2% or 4%, whatever, because some of you have really great interest
Right.
rates. And then that extra money that you're paying into the mortgage could probably be earning you 7, 8, 10%. Got
Oh,
it? It doesn't make
gotcha.
sense. You're losing out. You're, what do you say, cutting yourself short.
Got it. So instead, no, well, not instead of, actually, yeah, it's instead of. So instead of, let's say that I'm sending an extra $500 to pay off the mortgage, and I can finish paying off the mortgage, a 30-year mortgage in 20 years. What I could do is save this $500 and have it grow. And at the end of the 30-year period, I will have a paid off mortgage, and I will also have a certain amount of liquid money available to myself.
That's one way.
Okay.
Or while that money is growing, you get to a point maybe 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line, and you happen to have enough money or to pay off that mortgage early in a lump sum. That's something you can do and still also have a couple $100,000 liquid cash.
Got it. Got it. So instead of sending the money to the bank and applying this $500 hypothetically, this is like arbitrary, this $500 to the principal, what I can do is build an asset or have an asset, which is this other separate account, where the money that I'm applying into it grows at 4, 5, 6,
So,
seven
so, so
percent.
hold on, bro. Hold on. First of all, let's not confuse the masses, right? Let's stay put, stay on topic. You're getting to a whole different strategy, a whole different
I
plan.
was
How
just
about you have me come
I
back and
understand.
talk about that?
I just wanted to make sure I understood. All right, no problem. So
I
go over to
hear
the next.
you, but
So
we're not on that tangent yet. So
cool,
let's
cool.
dial it. Let's dial in.
It
Let's
was
dial it.
I wanted to chase that rabbit. It was just like right out. It was there.
Stay right
And
here. Stay right
all right,
here.
all right,
So one of
okay.
the other things that homeowners fail to do, they often forget to plan for healthcare. Statistically, a couple who retires today needs
Mm.
about $350,000 for healthcare costs in their lifetime, statistically.
But that's true because I'll say, well, both my grandparents were, well, my grandfather had Alzheimer's, my grandmother had some other illness, but they suffered that for at least 10 years and then they passed away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yes, if you got a budget for these things, because the money's gonna come out from somewhere. Either you're gonna, save it, or your kids are gonna foot the bill.
Correct.
If you have enough kids, it's probably can like
Correct. So here we're talking about planning for not just healthcare costs. Like, remember, healthcare is like, your copays, the things that your health insurance doesn't cover. There's a ton of those things. On
right.
top of that, you have long-term care, what you describe as cost of care,
Oh,
which
good.
your
So you were
Medicare,
just talking about over $250,000 just for copays and medication and this,
it could
not
be, depending on how ill you are. And how, if you didn't work out and you didn't take care of yourself properly and you're neglectful in your health, that's a whole other conversation. We didn't even get there.
but you
That's
were
a
not
different,
talking
that's a
about
different
the
talk.
hard cost of, hey, I need Miss I don't know who to come over to the house and help with the cleaning
Or or you're
or
in a nursing home. God
this
forbid you're
is
in a nursing home.
wind up
Yeah.
in a nursing home.
All of that other stuff. Yeah. So we can
Got
do a whole session on long-term care and healthcare costs for retirement. That's a whole different talk, right? But right now, homeowners tend to forget that this is something they need to even consider.
mm.
Healthcare costs, long-term care costs. Hey, just because you finish paying off your home doesn't mean that you don't have any more property taxes. You still have property taxes. You still have home insurance in your home. God forbid it burns down. You need to have a homeowner's insurance anyway.
That's
And
just
there's
maintenance. That's
maintenance.
just the thing I can do. The thing I got to do.
You need, listen, you need maintenance coverage because
Yes.
how many people pay off their home and it falls into severe disrepair because they did not properly plan for that. And you see seniors living in substandard, they own a home, but it's substandard conditions. So
Yeah.
definitely you want to make sure you have a maintenance plan, insurance plan to cover the home, and even your personal life insurance plan needs to be taken care of in here too. Property taxes, long-term care, healthcare, right? Also, one of the things that homeowners tend to do is, oh well, I pay off my home, I take a home equity line. But when they take the home equity line, they use it for lifestyle instead of using it as a strategy. They take the home equity line or a cash out refinance, they rehab the home, they buy new cars, they go on vacation, they spend it out. And then they're not thinking about, oh goodness, at some point, I need money in my retirement. Um, the other thing that a lot of homeowners fail to do is, diversify the tax brackets. What does
Okay.
that mean? They're overfunding tax deferred accounts. So they're putting money in like their 401ks or TSPs or whatever, and they're ignoring Roth and tax-free options. So they're
Gotcha.
ignoring tax-free
Got.
options. This
But
leads
usually those are the options that they offer at work. So I don't know. So usually at work they don't tell you, oh, so go get a Roth account. Usually it's a
no,
tax
no, no.
deferred
I
type.
think some employers today have gotten to the point where they're offering Roth 401ks at the job.
Mhm.
And I think publicly, most people have heard about a Roth IRA, but
Like,
many,
like
many people tend to ignore it because they're saying, hey, I'm going to reduce my tax liabilities today, not thinking about future higher taxes. They're not thinking about required minimum distribution issues, and they're not thinking about Medicare surcharges. So there's a
Right.
ton of different things that you need to consider. And that's why having that assessment is important. That's why having counsel is important. That's why working with a financial professional is important. So you can look at these different danger zones and minefields that you can, sort of meander through on your way to an excellent
The
retirement.
end zone and the end zone.
You want to get to the end zone. You want to do it, so, a lot. I've heard a lot of people say, "Hey, listen, I'm not gonna really start paying or saving for retirement. I'm waiting to have extra cash. Let me pay this house off first, and then
What
I'll
that's
save for
what most
retirement."
people do. They say, "Hey, I want to have a student loan. I have a credit card. I have a car note. I have a mortgage. I want to make sure I cannot save or I'm not saving enough because I have these things. So how about I put everything? I put the savings on pause, and when I get rid of one, two, three, four, five, that's, I can go ahead and now start saving heavily because whatever is it that I can start saving now may seem
That just sounds good
seem
to you
very
in your ear.
exciting."
It does. It's not sound financial sense because listen, it's not just about the money. It's a time factor of money, right?
What do you
And
mean
that
by that?
you're losing the compounding effect of your dollar, right? When you wait too late, right? Right. And a lot of times people not thinking, well, if you're 20 years old, you can probably save about $400 a month and get to $1 million. But when you're 50 years old, $400 a month is not going to do anything for you. And the
I
amount that you'd have to save per month
might
would
be
become so
overwhelmed.
exorbitant that a lot of people say, listen, I'm going to work till I die.
Yeah, I
Right.
heard that too.
Yeah. And on top of that, people don't think, well, maybe you might live longer than you expect.
Yeah,
I mean, my grandmother is 95. Your grandmother is 95.
I know.
Right. And they're strong. They're kicking. They're like still living relatively independently.
Yeah,
Right. They'll probably make it to 110
probably
based on the way they're going.
based
So
on where they're going. I wouldn't be surprised.
So exactly, have you sat down and figured out, well, as a strategy, well, yes, let me pay off my home, but how much money would I need per month to take me all the way through and adjust for inflation? Oh, we didn't even cover that yet.
Oh, that's one thing that you didn't that we
Oh
didn't
no,
go.
no.
We didn't say this. Yes, that money loses value over time, so you need to earn money or having a place park or invested so that it can grow faster than the rate it loses value in. If not, you're
Yeah, we're
just
not even there yet. And
slowly
that's the
losing money.
challenge. That's a challenge. So, the main things here, just to take away, I'm not going to keep you guys too long today. Today's a short, 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 short session.
Thank you.
First of all, owning a home is a great achievement,
Yeah,
right? It is. Like that's the American dream to own a home. And like most people don't own a home, right? So owning a home is a great achievement. Kudos to you. Congratulations. Pat on the back. Yeah, you own a home, but it doesn't replace a strategically structured retirement plan.
mm,
It doesn't replace that. So you have to, as a smart homeowner, do things differently. You have to balance paying off your mortgage while you're investing. You
right.
have to use tax diversification strategies. You have
Mm,
to plan for healthcare and longevity. With medical advances, we'll probably all live till we're 120. But you have to create multiple income sources for retirement. You can't just depend on Social Security and a 401k.
right.
You're dead in the water,
Hmm.
right? And you have to really coordinate your housing, your cash flow, your tax planning. Hey, what tax diversification strategies do you have? Huh? What? What is that?
I'm an
Exactly.
accountant for that.
Yeah, okay. Good luck with that. All right. I know many people have accountants and they're still broke in retirement, right? So it's so, 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 so important that you not only okay, I'm saving, I got my house and I'm good, or I'm saving and I'm good, or I have some money in a 401k, I'm good. No. Have you sat down and really figured it out? Like when you retire, do you need the same amount of money, less money, or more money?
Probably
And
more.
what's your tax plan for that? How are you going to cover the taxes? How are you going to deal with inflation? How are you going to deal with healthcare costs? Don't you think you need a financial professional?
Ah, it's too much.
That's why, that's why we call it financial planning. You really need to sit down with a professional and go over
I should be
various
professional. Have your financial
strategies.
professional talking with your accountant, talking with your lawyer to make sure that all these competing interests are or competing interests
They work
get
holistically
addressed.
together.
And that strategies that you put in
Correct.
place work holistically together to bring about the result that you want. So listen,
There
Esther,
you
thank
go.
you
There you go.
very much for your time. Tomorrow we're going to discuss um, the mistake that causes people to retire or arrive at retirement dead or dead broke. I believe a lot of the things that we mentioned today probably bleed into that.
Mhm.
But there is a lot of more things. I'm pretty sure that Esther has. Lift up your hands. Oh, like this. Let me see. Lift up your hands. Oh no, I don't see your sleeves. But trust me, she has like sleeves, and she has a whole bunch more. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Yes, she has more options inside of her sleeves, just like that. So we're gonna just pull those out tomorrow and get the conversation going. So anything you would like to add before we end?
Pretty much, hey, come dial in tomorrow, take advantage, reach out to us, DM us to really book a complimentary financial analysis to see where you are, strategize, and see what options are available to you.
Cool.
Maybe there are areas that you have a blind spot in that you've never actually ever thought about in your path to your financial freedom. So
Okay.
pretty much definitely give me, reach out to us. We'll set up a time on Zoom and chat and
No
see
problem.
what's
So what I'll
possible
do,
for you.
I have a surprise for tomorrow.
Oh,
Something that you can download, and do kind of like an assessment on your own. That will be my gift for the people that come onto the channel and they just listen, and if they wanted to, they'll be able to go inside there, download it, and do kind of walk through the assessment that you can make in the different areas, and to see what is it that you have not been looking at, what is it that you could improve, and if you want any type of assistance from Esther or from our team, then you'll have the opportunity to schedule a time if you so desire. So Esther, thank you much. See you tomorrow.
uh,
There's power in the word no. At University